First things first is that going through a breakup sucks. And every single man out here, no matter what they say, understands how bad it is to go through a breakup and understands what heartbreak's like. I'd actually like to argue that men feel more heartbroken than women. I think it's true. And I think it's because one, of the possessive element that we have, the idea of her being with someone else hurts more than the idea of you being with someone else to her. And secondly, because you have a lot less options than she has instantly. So I think that breakups are worse for men than they are for women. And I understand how difficult and hard they can be. However, the unfortunate reality is that chasing her and being dedicated to her and saying you're going to do whatever she wants, etc., is very unlikely to work. It's very unlikely to work, and you have to look at the scenario you're in, look at the chessboard, and make the best possible move. When you're truly heartbroken, you can't even sleep, and your mind is constantly preoccupied. And instead of seeing that as a negative, what you need to do is use that as a source of unlimited power. If I was truly heartbroken today, let's imagine, and I could barely sleep, I'd be in better shape than I've ever been. I'd train like a fucking animal. You have to just take the energy inside of you. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. And you have to look at that and understand that the sadness inside of you is energy. You can't destroy it, but you can convert it into something else which is constructive. And you just have to suck it up, buttercup, and get over it. Yeah. And there's no other way to do it. And obviously having an abundance of women makes that easier, but I wouldn't even put it that way. I'd say if you were with a woman and you lost her and you're now lonely and she's going to be moving on and you're absolutely not heartbroken and you're destroyed inside, I understand how difficult that is. But now you have genuine sadness inside of you, which is unlimited motivation for you to become a fucking beast, become an animal. And by the time you're finished becoming an animal, you won't care anymore. So if you really want to cure yourself, you can just say, I'm going to get a six pack and I'm going to get bigger arms. And by the time my arms are this size and I have a six pack, then I'm going to think about that. And you'll realize you don't give a shit about her anymore. That's just the way the world works. Another thing that can give you a lot of hope is understanding is that her revenge on you is instant. Her revenge on you is going out to party and you're sitting at home alone. Her revenge is instant. Your revenge takes a little bit longer, but it is a better revenge overall. It takes, like all good things in life, good things come to those who wait. Good things don't come instantly. Your revenge is going to be using that sadness, using that sorrow to become such an amazing man that she realizes she f***ed up. Every single one of my exes realizes they f***ed up. There's not a single person who's close to me whose life would be better if I wasn't in it. Every single one of my exes looks and goes, I wish I had top G still now. I just text my boyfriend my problems. He can't fix them, but Andrew good. Yeah. I'm sitting here on economy, Tate's on his jet. I up. And so if you get to take that sadness and sorrow and truly become the man that you know you can become, your victory comes. It's maybe a little bit delayed, but it certainly and utterly is coming, and you should be excited by that. You need to look that there will be a day where she regrets the decision she made. There will be a day where she understands that she f***ed up and her life would have been better if she kept me, and I'm going to prove it to her. And that's what you have to do. You have to go do it.
Yep. You have to create the regret, guys. And I think that's the problem. You guys got to understand. You must create the regret.
That's right. You nailed it. You have to go and force her. You have to force her to feel regret by the magnitude of your actions. If you sit around your ass being mopey, she ain't gonna feel regret. If you text her, you're gonna regret losing me, she ain't gonna feel regret. You have to get up and attack the universe, and through the force of your monumental achievements, the universe is gonna create a massive sadness ball. A nice big ball of regret and dump it on her fucking head. You can do that. Do your very, very best at your job. Try and make as much money as possible. Try and progress within your career. Be awake and open to opportunities as you go through life. Make sure you build a strong network. Find other important people to network with. If you're trying your very, very best in school so you can try your very, very best in your job, then good. The ones who are going to be the most successful are usually the most adaptable and also the quickest. We live in a very, very fast world now where things are happening extremely quickly. And people who are slow or are slow to adapt or slow to change always get left behind and get wrecked. Adaptation is extremely important. Speed's extremely important. You need to sit there and genuinely work and build on who you are as a man so you can live a better life. I can't imagine life as a man who wasn't competent, but I know for sure it must be miserable. It must be miserable. You're a feather in the wind. You're just being blown by the tides of life and you're just getting knocked from place to place. And you've handed all control of your life over to somebody else. Those people who you've handed control over to, they care about you less than you should care about yourself. You can protect yourself against the worst possible scenarios in life that can possibly happen to you by just becoming a man of genuine competence and skill. And that's why I don't understand how these men are just waking up each day and not trying to do exactly that. It's crazy. So if you truly give a then you know what to do. Answer to 99% of questions or conundrums or scenarios that people come up and ask me, 99% of the time the answer is work harder. My girl left me, what do I do? Hit the gym. My friend died, what do I do? Become exceptional. I'm sad, what do I do? Train. Like the answer is nearly universal. Yep. It's always working harder is never gonna not help. No matter what scenario you're in, working harder is never gonna not help you. And it's amazing that I give different versions of the same answer for 99% of the questions I'm asked. Work harder. If you have a problem, whether you're broke, whether you're out of shape, whether your friend dies, whether your girl leaves you, whether you're depressed, whatever it is, working harder is almost always the answer. So you know what you need to do. You need to do it. And what's amazing, again, is kind of like the antidote. If you take the antidote before the poison, then you never get sick in the first place. If you're always working as hard as possible, if you're always working your ass off and trying to be the best version of yourself every single day, then you never get sick in the first place. You're already working, you're already taking the antidote. So things can't get attached to you, they can't get hold of you. So if you're working as hard as possible all of the time, then you already have all your answers before the problems even appear. Working hard is the antidote to everything. So why don't you just do it in advance? Why don't your life just become work like mine? Why don't you just dedicate yourself to a cause and fucking get up and do what you're supposed to do every single fucking day?
Your job as a man is to create a legacy so people actually have something to remember and keep your name alive. And if people can't keep your name alive after you pass away, you didn't go hard enough when you were on this earth. Why is competence with women so important?
Competence with women is important because you're always going to end up doing crazy shit for the thing you don't have. If you don't have food, you're going to end up giving up your car. You're going to end up giving up all your money. You'll even give up your house for food at some point of starvation. And if you have no pussy, it's the same thing. It's a biological desire. It's born inside of you. And if you are starving to death, you don't give a shit about anything else but getting some food. If you are not nothing, you don't give a shit about anything else but getting some pussy. And then you're not going to have any kind of boundaries. You're not going to be able to set any kind of rules. You're not going to be able to keep your self-respect. You're not going to be able to worry about your finances or preparing your prenup or looking after your house or maintaining your relationships with your friends. You're not going to care about any of that because you're so desperate to get that one thing because you have none of it. That's the basics of human nature. Whereas if you have a bunch of it, you get to have it in a healthy atmosphere. If you don't have any food, you're going to attract food unhealthily. You're going to do unhealthy things to get food. If you don't have any pussy, you're going to do unhealthy things to get pussy. But if you have abundance of it, you're going to sit there and go, yeah, I want pussy, but I'm not going to compromise my relationship with my friends. I'm not going to compromise my finances. I'm not going to compromise my mission. I'm not going to compromise going to the gym. I don't give a shit if she wants to go to the club. I want to go to the gym. I'm not going to compromise my body and my health. I'm going to do what I want to do first, and she's going to come second. That's a healthy relationship with a girl. That's why having competence and abundance with all things. It's the same with money. You're going to end up snaking out your friends for money if you can't make money. Yeah. You're going to end up doing dumb shit for money if you can't make money. You're going to end up robbing a bank and getting shot. You need to have competence in all realms because it allows you to establish hard barriers and allows you to establish firm parameters in which you can operate and have a healthy relationship with these things, because you need these things. We all need food. We all need pussy. We all need money, etc. But you don't want to sell your soul to get it. You want to stay true to God. And that's why it's so important to be competent. Desperate men are dangerous. It's always been the same. It's the most desperate man alive that's going to stab you for your fucking shoes. Desperate's dangerous. You need to avoid desperation at all costs. If I find a man who's desperate in any regard, desperation is scary to me. I don't like it. I don't like it around me. They can turn at any time. They're very easy to bribe. Yeah. If a man's starving, it all takes a piece of cake for him to kill your ass. You better be careful.
Thanks. And I want to say this too. Integrity, guys, is rooted in competence. If you know that you can go ahead and achieve it, you don't need to snake your friends out for it. That's why I tell you guys it's so important to be good with women, get your money up, etc. Because when you meet other guys that are in abundance, you're naturally going to attract each other. Hey, we're abundant guys. We got our own girls. We don't need to snake you guys out of your girls. Hey, we make our own money. We don't need to try to snake you guys out of your money. And when you're able to do that, it becomes a lot more genuine. And you're able to do what? Adhere to integrity. But a lot of guys, if you don't have your competence at some point, what do you got to do? You got to snake people. You got to scam them. You got to do some bullshit to make money. You got to cheat and cut corners. And that will always lead you to failure down the road.
The number one thing that you can do as a man is just to get your life in order. It hasn't got to be that complicated. Just be the strongest, most honorable, best version of yourself. Don't be a bad person. Be a good person. Tell the truth. Be honorable. Protect the people that you care about. Be polite to everybody. Make as much money as you can. Go to the gym. Get in good shape. Find other guys who are on the same mission as you. That's what you need to do. And by doing that in and of itself, you're automatically going to be a beacon of resistance. Even if you don't do anything or say anything, just being a person who has his life in order, who's not struggling within his own mind, who's not depressed, who's not sad, who has other people on the same mission, same path as him, that's going to make you a beacon of resistance.
Dinner or coffee?
With a chick, coffee, 100%. Dinner is a bit formal and eating ain't that attractive a thing to do. And also it's hard to bounce if she's annoying you. Coffee, you can just make excuses. You can be very polite. I like the idea. Even if I go on a date with a girl, I don't like her. I don't like ending it negatively. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, something's coming up. Really nice to meet you. I try and be very, very polite, but I get out there. Time's important.